Right, every be akwaba e de aba sports arena so braso say ye tena se na ye de agudie mu nsem e de bro na ye di kan catch us agudie mu nsem ne ye de bro dia kwan obefa so a obenya ska e na ye befa so na afi yama wadi ska na bibia so etumi akoye e honum bomodia na woni ye nhwimbom e MYBET.AFRICA MYBET.AFRICA ho na ye ba bia o se ye nyina ye kamom ni twa bet honum na yetumi di na bibia so ntumi ye den enkoye emfa emaye omo ena aso ya sen de dwumadie yi brewo ne MYBET.AFRICA MYBET.AFRICA enti bomodi an hye no so ye papa mema ure emfi ene matches wo ene Barcelona ebo sa so na Galatasaray ebo sa two matches we nkwa ye be make sure say ye de be ye two matches we pe ye be make sure say ye de be bed builder sana be ya ye betumi a make scar because our two teams we nyina omo she goals papa the goals be flow ene ti ye be hwe na fe ye tumi aya na fe watumi debate na bibia so atumi akoye show no etwagu ewo DJ Kwaku Slim ewo Facebook DJ Kwaku Slim ewo Facebook enti wodu wa na omode ana wa share wodu wa na wahye na bibia tumi akoye she na ma wonu aso nye den ehu de ekone de eba she na wonu aso hu because sika na wose nyina na yedi esiwa no na esima no ane ye fe no onu ado ye de mu nsembe bro ana opemso akasa ade ache sports minister aye ora Kofi Adams ekopie mu se ne okoma asante kotoko ya kuo ni nyina ya akọ na otumi ekokopie mu ewo eye opemso aso eye na okopie na opemso otumi aka bi asem bi a kire ne ze onye ye behwe na ye disa nkomo no ewo so hye no se ochina Champions League eba ochina Champions League football return legs no bantino se ne first legs ne koye na ebi man koye ebi musu koye no ye behwe na ya balance no na bibia so no atumi ayeden akoye ti wajo ni show na na wa share ewo Facebook DJ Kwaku Slim ewo Facebook ya momode ane yen share se na be ya bibia so no ebetumi akoye okopie mu ewo YouTuber MYBET.AFRICA TV MYBET.AFRICA TV YouTube MYBET.AFRICA TV ho na ojoin a bibia so no ebetumi akoye enso ede ama honum udua na wa share MYBET online radio no so etwagu MYBET online radio no so etwagu de pomodia se obetumi ajoin na bibia so no etumi akoye honum abija for mama kwaba.
Yeah, let's do it.
Bibia fine there.
Bibia fine.
Yeah, weekend games, you know. Ultimo say yes. Atlanta bo 0-0. Ultimo say mo 0-0 no mo boy na hadwen. Bayern Munich ene Leverkusen ko bienum san kan yeden yakov 1.5.
Yeah.
Almost me to me bo 0-0. Real Madrid ko ball draw. Ultimo say weekend we na ano tem pop. I think that's a Sunday games na say. Emuda holding ade a but no crown Roma on show over 1.5 60 good minutes Roma for no and to me and she go back once and can one money point to me and Fesca but yaba and the matches for her January weekend games and then the biggest news and it's Chelsea say Chelsea the 6th positioner we are trigger a supporters now and they almost say almost your demonstration almost show mu displeasure. Some are even saying say Roman Abramovich think the charges ni be o ma drop it actually me say Roman Abramovich me fa team ni back it's an for me fa team no anka I was say by now news anka e ba ni say ebia Eucharist be ba defense and so ebia one experienced defender be yeden Baba join it. Momo hwe se bianka midfielder experience midfielder winger ba ko experience be bananka omo be form leadership wo team ni mu ebi mu se Enzo Maresca ya de omunya sa senior players iba na omo be support na obetumi aboa ebi mu se o dabi o championship coach Yenra a year weekend matches, yen review matches no. Na fe ye na fe be discuss Chelsea dear no.
Okay, list o chia ya hwefo nyina say ne Monday bi mo masan join in eba be show no. I think weekend need there say ne anyama call na nkoyi ama investors especially on Saturday, because on Saturday obi enim say we are the German Bundesliga na game kese ekoso ye Bayern Leverkusen and Bayern Munich. But on Friday discussion here o can say mostly no they order first no. Mostly the first and second share. Either the second ni be winning and as obefa draw. But no be a say game no ebetimi akọ 1.5. But ade ba akọ me hu e was a game no say Vincent Company we adwuma ye pa enye se maybe team no wo no but we adwuma ye e wo no ne ho as a coach. So person do the level of Pep Guardiola, the Jose Mourinho's, any Carlo Ancelotti eso timi ye adwuma ye e wo no an ho ne tactics ene ne nyama bebre going into games. I didn't make us say ye name say in the Bundesliga Bayern Munich one of the best teams ever league no. The performance Bayern Munich form anko ya na se season a ombe deep in form no eno ne ma kwan ma another team sambe win league no. Bayern Munich to win and I say omo form deep and no be for benya chance about be winning even against the big coaches the the clubs the two shells muni we muna se Bayern Munich on a standard but se ohwe in draw game on Saturday game on boy it was a disappointing game, very very disappointing, because so we two teams a boy Leverkusen and Bayern Munich we line up a Bayern Munich a parody any world class players on apart from player or boy if any Ito or boy the left back no and make so you be on more of a household name no. Every player be no pitch into a player be a name performance or modedi with Kimmich, Musiala, Harry Kane, Coleman, Olise, even Neuer no that pomo. We had this team a team they should win any game available unless maybe they are having their bad day. Now one thing I must state in is Vincent Company as a coach no. Bayern Leverkusen on 2 occasions. Nini na their performance on the pitch very very poor. Bayern Leverkusen ain't take your chance and I lack na ABA and bomb side. Into no man convert your chances of munya because in this game inka with lack a favor team a friend Bayern Leverkusen on chances back you create ya a little distance from the ball scoring na ball na Korea. They would have scored like 3 goals in this game. Because big chances at Leverkusen creating on that night was 4 big chances, 4 clear big chances. And keso mutimisheni na corners creative from Leverkusen ya corners of 6. Bayern Munich a team with Harry Kane, Olise, Coleman ain't me nya 1 corner mpo. Ain't man create 1 big chance. Now shot on target, ain't man ball shot on target bako. About 1 shot off target. Ball possession 44 against 46 at Bayern Leverkusen. So is this thing a cut down to tactics? And yet players no, because in the players Omugu Park these are World Cup players. Harry Kane captain the national team. Olise, he is performing well. Musiala in him, how influential he was Germany. Coleman, France, Okwa, the performance. Kimmich, Kim Min-jae, Munina. These are players in their national teams. They are doing so well. These are world class players. Inti as a coach, na udi players say him na untimi emfa o tactics ni nyama ento akwemu ye. Now in which me call in a game against Bayern Leverkusen with 0 shot on target, 0 chance created, any nyama, it shows say you have a whole thing to do as a coach on yourself. You home game against Celtic, send a Bayern Munich to get a 2-1 win. Celtic beba return league. If you are going to show this same performance, Celtic beat Mama if I win you because Vincent Company so ye juma. Sometimes you blame me. These young coaches, now they back one steady or young coaches. I think you're better into Chelsea. You know, one of my steady on young coaches, they say they feel say they have learned so much. No, our tactics be our style be your person into no. At the end of the day, no, so our tactics with that style we na me coach over for man person mebo because person me blueprint. Now your boss has style na because maybe a Vincent Company style. Your boss has style na because maybe Ruben Amorim style. Your boss has style na because maybe Enzo Maresca style. But in games na how you who coaches beat Ancelotti ni a particular type of style strategy we only the any say we parody players no in game no be managing kakaka kopim say 3 points mbefa the Jose Mourinho's the Pep Guardiola so me move it to clubs they look at the players available no me hu senior mbe chise nyama ma ono 3 points ni trophies no ne hia no that makes him a good coach and yes say me what this particular style na players ni ntima mbo a e omo fault because mini quality on betima bo Vincent Kompany to me can't be against these Bayern Munich players because these are quality players. Unless your person catch them some motivation of them. But last season they losing the Bundesliga. No, Obi any higher motivation seeing this team. Even Harry Kane trying to win his first major trophy. Obi any motivation saying no. But on the night he was one of the players on performance. When he rating, his rating was on 6.5. The player now the rating was closer to Harry Kane was. Pavlovich no was 6.5. So Vincent Kompany so to me born home again but Xabi Alonso so me born abaso because he has been one of the young emerging coaches I mean who say his tactics, his gameplay ABBR he's putting in everything in this game. He name him say he's a coach and he goes for a 3-4-3 system, but in this game or switch formation he went for a 4-4-2 because on him the way Bayern Munich for style of play here any nyameba. This is one of the coaches I have and I wouldn't be surprised say he can get to the level as he would do in his coaching career because he's a dynamic coach. He wants to make changes to make sure say team now no. The main thing is the team performing well and him getting the 3-pointer in Drana against Bayern Munich in 2 legs no with me any maximum point in this league chase.
I think getting the 3-point was much more important. Now
yes.
no man to me the gap still
remains the same. Yeah.
Does it mean they can't defend their league title?
With the league title, send Amidi kind boss and say in the Bundesliga no is Bayern Munich to lose. So Bayern Munich into me and Gia and San will be better. But say maybe a boss season you know na it be a team be bema will be pressure in any league in Europe. Uko Spain, uko England, uko Italy. A 8 point gap nya dia who a DJ league will be because there are more games to play. But in the Bundesliga no their teams are betima ko say upset near Kituebi compared to maybe the La Ligas and the Premier League. Say him say the Premier League Man City bet me Brentford the share na Brentford atwini mu atwe draw ana wa hye no. Maybe in Spain Barca and Leganes na Leganes ashe Barca 1-0 Leganes akwa Atletico 1-0 no they are destroy league race no. But in the Bundesliga no one time I studied this season say two teams when the team cause those upsets no. Hoisting Kiev onu no share kesfo na emfa ho ne baby awoda onu obehye goals ni bi onu nso behye bi ene Bochum omu no me two teams even hwe baby omu die in the league log no omu share kesfo no omu timi prove point but say St. Pauli ene Augsburg muni Wolfsburg no akesfo ni hye omu nanti omu so time bia but say nkomu timi nya 3 to 5 teams are omu share kesfo no omu gi point free omu anka it will be a good race for Bayern Leverkusen but him say Bayern Munich echo a longer streak on winning even before meeting them or meeting my draw. But everything will depend on Leverkusen in performance because we she say team now will do him lose but also 3 points now there will be setbacks now waiting my close but 8 point gap there least to a in the especially in the Bundesliga me dream say bad in say Leverkusen bet me defending the title with Dortmund any Bochum. I think Dortmund about 18 year they are so on and off especially when it comes to the Bundesliga. You who Dortmund against Hoisting Kiev going 2 goals up a betina or losing I think or 4 goals and son about betiti and they've been games that Dortmund will go 2 goals up near about betiti. This game so we share line up we share score line because we be more Champions League game into one bunny key players but every key player be a Dortmund parody in a game to win or bomuni na including the top striker including Gittins or one of the young chaps coming up and still Dortmund went into this game losing 2-0 against Bochum. So if baby a Dortmund that in the Bundesliga Sisiana or the 11th position Sisia Dortmund only chance or what say obetima concentrate and make it the 3 point needed till the end of the season. So no betima European competition be a rim. And now send the bia obe give you up league now and I dream so the Champions League which a bear idea bedding. And their performance in the league has been so bad. in games and when to say investor bia would Dortmund channel or call Dortmund games or see Dortmund there I mean con overs over 1.5 over 2.5 na menye den mempem baby ntina because you for Dortmund win or draw waso beshi and pam so weekend we obi ohwe Dortmund game no omu create chances say ka team or create chances for the Bundesliga we RB Leipzig I think Dortmund make create chances nini na ba conversion wo fem. So Usher in a game with 69 ball possession, expected goals of 2.47. Now Winterman shed a single goal at the same baby, but created 4 big chances against Bochum. Bochum created 7 big chances. So Bochum at the 18th position in the league log. Not only Dortmund, but created 7 big chances against Dortmund. Nature say there is a whole lot of question marks on this Dortmund team. Now, those say Omutimi more against Sporting Lisbon getting 3 goals away. Meaning say the Champions League game no ya debakwa ne wo mutrima because a 3-goal win going to a second leg in ya debakwa should be shaking in a league game. No win say opposition now that our league in so nye. So it was a disappointing game from Dortmund. Me feel say going forward no the only chance they have no if they want to get into the Champions League positions where they've always been now. They need to up their game in the Bundesliga because any omoto nyama ono enkoye with Italy Lazio enso any Napoli share ye di hun komo ha say make I say Napoli a team bia I don't think say obetimi asha Lazio do say Napoli ekuta solid form but I'm not seeing Napoli as Lazio because Lazio no against big clubs no you share almost start any of matches against big clubs no oye no ho the ball do say game no stretch it to the last minute of the game and say Lazio Babenya equalizer but Lazio actually this season say opeso no so etimi wira the Champions League spot so opeso wira the Champions League spot these are games so etimi wini these are games so etimi nya point against the Napolis the Inters the Atlantes and the Juventus so etimi nya point in these games then the nkwala na aka no ono so etimi ayire ne ho ahye omo bebre omutimi call into the game with a 2-2 I think me bought Lazio for abaso
okay
though say it's a difficult game against Napoli but in the last minute of the game no win say game no me lose we still having the fighting spirit to get a 2-2 draw no this season only Napoli 2 games we have 4 points if we Napoli wa so beat me league in out mean fa this maximum point for shows the level of performance I will put in the league I think ometimi abom humodin but with Napoli Antonio Conte into there a whole lot of question marks because you are not playing any European competition. These are games and you say oko 2-1 up so what's your performance omudani dia they should have been 3 goals up even in the game even before Lazio Babete and they created chances you know say Italy there chances creation in say Germany ni other leagues abo hu say you created 7-8 big chances there be Italy no omo taria to nya chance say utimi share both teams creating big chances and case team convert but main team convert and I think Antonio Conte sometimes in his game no he do baby and changes a delay kaka especially after the goal I was expecting like putting in more attacking players to get the 3rd goal and secure the win but now will delay because of let's say a 2-1 up no against Lazio bit me defend the wall maybe he changes back it will maybe distract the team's performance maybe you meet but it was a game Lazio should be given credit for it. Atlanta Cagliari draw on because Atlanta anywhere the Champions League so against Club Brugge etimi no etimi sisi na omutimi win 2-1 so their main focus was on our Champions League so in this game I wasn't expecting Atlanta to even score more goals into investor bia going into this game with the Champions League in same said there's a game as Atlanta at least a draw will secure them in a good position on the league log on okay but I think as a big club chasing the league title that's the Scudetto no there are games you need to win and in the first half it was one of the boring first halves who in the Serie A. There was nothing exciting about the first half. In the second half, with 1 or 2 changes, now who say the team were trying to pick up, but still, Atlanta, nan keso mutimi winning this game because he named him say Inter, it me lose against Juventus. In think Atlanta, there was a big chance of we see Inter by just a point. Anka, Ebabe also 3 points way with Napoli. Atlanta still on free title race in here. obetimi etimi aye bibi or I think it was a good game and keso mutiminya that maximum point with Juventus any Inter Milan ye di unkomo ha se Juventus ye team bia in the Serie A no ade ba ko e han ne se draws no obo no nkenye draws na nka he should be on the top of the league table because of performance or danedy because ultimately bought a league season 25 games into the league season now lost one pair. It's one thing it shows say yes you are doing so well, you are not conceding more and you are making sure say your back is solid. But this season no ultimately into a game leading the game na fi the ababeti asheno. But this game I was very surprised because Juventus a team bia mostly when they have a Champions League game coming up na performance no occur mostly into this game will draw. Inter on the other hand I was disappointed in them because only any major game coming up this week. So this is a game unim say Napoli
taking the first half I may say a lot of
chances yes unim say Napoli enso abo draw Napoli abo draw no nke say ultimate take advantage and say may say big with 3 big chances against a team like Juventus unim say or the go back to atene mu eno ano no Mota this season ade ba ko odi aba be kan the Juventus team no say wama the Italian football ni enim fit say uni Italian team bono di kan show tough game no show so be close and I think they miss those chances as they were missing those chances no e ma me hu say no Juventus can go ahead and when Juventus go ahead and one no but I think one player ne hu insem bibraba I think say yebeka unko yebedi unko mo se ba Chelsea asem na Renato Vega. I think the center back position no he has been very very solid for Juventus as a wo hwe obae no in their few games awabo no ni ratings 7.0 plus and one making this Juventus team obae no now Juventus are conceding less in games which has been one thing defensively near Juventus. But in the game against Empoli, they considered just 1 goal after scoring 4. Against Como, just 1 goal. Against PSV, himself was a difficult game, just 1 goal. Against Inter, they couldn't concede. And he has been one of the most important players being added in this Juventus team in January. So okay, the way Italians near hyping, especially the Juventus fans, and the Juventus we handles near hyping. He has been one of the players to watch. And once at the end of the season, the Juventus be imagine say, "Omo be fan a service in their team." My main share with Man United ne Tottenham. Angie coach bia nyame anim nukrani. Though say he is also a coach or a 1 star or just a plan A after the plan A no. Or energy say only plan B bia, but I think he's one of the coaches say if he has his players available in this season in a position or that in the league lock no go under because injuries say injuries or my face this season we facing over 213, the highest in top 5 European competitions. Players no one is more backwards and in this game against Man United utiminya 3 players back from injury penal and umpo nyani full set just 3 players out of injury. One was his goalkeeper Vicario, who has been influential in his team. Madison, the second player. The third player player Fanny Davis are on and off. These 3 players penal it's me money keep clean sheet, which say he is one coach so utiminya a full set Udogi mu Van der Ven mu Christian Romero mu eba he would have been a big team to beat this season in the English Premier League. But I think sometimes overthinking is and it's normal with any coach who is tactically good, because so a tactically good he goes into game trying to think what the opponent will come up with and they do baby a handle. But in this game they were brilliant, very very good. Madison show say yes he has been that creative player they were missing in their team. Those said they were players they came in to perform. They were young players they came in to perform well, but he has been one of the creative players they were missing in their team. Player a friend who tells and so performance was good. Oshe coming into the Premier League, the way Onya half chances trying to get shot on target, creating those chances, he's one of the players to watch. I'm looking at say maybe Solanke Mo Ebabaka, the position he would play in the team, because I think he can play across all the 3 positions in attack. He's very very good. I think Vicario coming back is one of the most exciting team at Angie ebitimi enya this week, because he's one player who saves so year on the night, making sure say Man United don't get a go against Spurs. Omutimi wini 1-0. Ruben Amorim nso coach bia na so ya yedin. Na so yedin ye pa with this system, semi system ni me 3-back system means sano kwan bia so means sano no. Wan hwe nyama ye Man United ombehu no omo battle relegation at the end of the season, because at this time no Man United were 29 points. Team or that 17th position or 19 points. It's just a 4-game gap between only Man United. In himself in the EPL, Man United in ball in the big games now. Even the small teams they can hold. So if you are still sticking to your system, now I'm sticking to my system, you would go on a relegation battle. One year lucky, you play your system in the championship next season. And I don't think I'm a boss, as a top coach, your main focus is to win games and to win trophies. Until who time top coaches moving to clubs their main focus is Maba has MBG trophies. Mourinho at Man United only a whole lot of injuries, but the main focus is on G trophy. Into Mourinho, anytime you'll be sharing his press conference, okay, say being second against Manchester City in the league, was one of his best achievements because of the players now no Kutano and the injuries are now no one. And it's similar to this Man United team, because Mourinho time no kuta players they weren't fitting to send no person ball, and with a lot of injuries. But that season, Utimi the Europa, and the next season Utimi that second, which has been one of his greatest achievements to be signed and net. Asemo Bekacha no. But Ruben Amorim na energy say he has one style of play. Na no pen person ball. Na players ni na nya ade. No muntimi mbɔ style of play. But ade ba kwa meka Man United fan bia ne say udi coach echi say style of play. Na players ni nya at the end of the season obeko relegation. And that same coach, you better players so a tomom, but the performance ni nso eni. Sometimes as a coach you need to be dynamic, you need to switch a bit, and this is the time I'm expecting players like Maguire, Bruno Fernandes being captains on my way to speak with the coach. No can change say the team's performance this season in the league no here saying the tactics so best switch to meet the team standard. Now more it may secure a better position in Europe or a better position on the league log the next season, or better 30 players at their born system you no anasema, and no any club no any players any fans they push for. But I tell Man United fans number be more of Ruben Amorim by the who type of style of play be the who type of say and with coaches of Man United in their first 13 games, Ruben Amorim enya the least points with all these coaches, even with Ole no coachy any big team out by and any iron tanta, but still utimi bibi onumpo nya the highest point in 13 games. Raf by in a disjoint team onusu benya highest point. Eric Ten Hag, David Moyes mu, Luis Van Gaal, Jose Mourinho mu etimenya good point, which secure them a good position on the league log. But Ruben Amorim by say yehwe obaye no wabo 14 games no wins a woman air 4 with just 2 draws. They are can 9 defeat, so 9 draws, 9 losses against Arsenal, against Nottingham Forest, against Bournemouth, against Wolves, Newcastle, Brighton, Crystal Palace, Fulham. These are teams Man United are beating them week in week out, even against a disjoint squad. Time na only na performance ni, but against Fulham, against Wolves muni we mu die kwan bia so obegye ne point. But these are teams coach okuta tactics na bre. So why can't you twitch the team to fit your tactics? You won't players are with your kwan. Anthony in 4 games awabo Betis waji man of the match 4 times. So I shot 4 goals. Was 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 goal contribution in 4 games. Rashford in the game against Ipswich, on that decisive free kick the goal nearby, and you could see his gameplay against Ipswich. This player was performing so well, but this is a player Ruben Amorim tina ka say in care or the goalkeeper trainer with 60-something years. Ebebo ahead of a player or fails on your committed. Players don't commit to coaches, sir. Players commit to the style of play. They commit to idea who coach in each room. So if they are seeing something, they would commit to it and play. But so Omobana, I had to say, you want to eliminate those you feel say they can be problem based on Inyama Bia, it will affect your team. The player was signing or this season, Odogu coming into this team. Indra, the performance wasn't that good. And I'm not sure Man United will go in for another left winger Biom at the end of the season until you are adding the players. So if you are adding a player and your performance is good, their players they came into the team and they were out of the team. They came into the team based on injury and they are doing well. Then it shows say you need to up your game as a coach. Until I think he needs to stand up. Man United fans ninja or style of play. You need players who make my boss a ball no until you lose in yepe say you go through this hard time. Not next season you pick it up and na make a trump say next season no man you lucky the picking up will be in the championship. No money lease money we money be ball. Until hono so person change the style of player. Obitima kwa koche. The last game I measure Arsenal and Leicester. Mebo Arteta abasu ye pa. Now I think he has been one coach. There've been a lot of criticisms on him, but who shared this game against Leicester? Even though Leicester a team, their performance this season has been very poor. But going into a team with only 3 attackers, Raheem Sterling, Trossard, and Nwaneri, that's the young chap our team. No, these 3 players was his only attackers on the day. Now before the game, no can be a manager and say. The injuries in Nyama are something of the past. It's Indra, and then they are going into the game to pick the 3 points from here. And this is a coach with a good mentality to win games. He made sure say his back was solid. And if you want to win games, Ese is solid. And the attacking phase or try the 3 attackers are not one. Only Obibia or Mobiti number unless a player from the academy and Kobebe Muababebo. But one thing that he did, I was so interested about, was bringing in Mourinho, who was tall, good in the air, into the team to play as a number 9. In himself, his preferred position is a DM or as a CM, but he brought him into the number 9 position because Sterling, he was very poor on the night. Nanka, he's one player out of the train. He's the most experienced. And Kesu Timi show something, but when Timi, and he was very poor. The Arteta is a particular change, bringing in Mourinho and now telling his players to get crosses into the box. Who said scoring 2 goals was something. I think this is the second time I watched it brace in his career, which it was an exciting thing to watch. Remember Arteta Abaso with his team, the team has been solid. He's trying to make changes to fit the team. And now Adebakwa as a top coach, the injuries they are part of the game. But how can you make sure say the injuries don't affect your tactics, the injuries don't affect your team? And then Adebakwa why? And this season was show say yes. In some seasons ago, Arsenal were injuries and they'll be bottling games. But this season against Leicester, we are looking at say in his next game Obebo, which will be against West Ham. No, you name him the first league. I don't West Ham with a good attack with Saka. Next game against West Ham at home at the Emirates. It will be one game to watch. He can go into that game and pick the next point because after that game, only Nottingham Forest, which will be a big game for him. So I think West Ham will be a game he can't miss. He needs to win because of Nottingham Forest, or Nottingham Forest, or Man United, or Man United, or Chelsea. No, so the next 4 games are very tough for him. So with this not West Ham game, SO to me picky win. Then the Nottingham Forest, Man United, Chelsea game, na bet say yes. Arteta movie from just being a good coach to an elite coach. So to me picky out of these 4 games, so to me picky even 9 points or even 7. It shows say yes, he has upgraded into that level that we can call him an elite coach.
Okay.
I think the other games now course there was exciting. Investors na Saturday Nyama nkoyi man, but on Sunday Nyama timi ko year I think nkofo be timi face ka MYBET.AFRICA.
Okay. Right. Interesting.
Yeah. Listo. I mean, chat here for. Monday, but say the anache say. Seven Dawson. Over the weekend, there's a lot of things of course, so some of the teams okay amount for, especially Bayern Leverkusen in the Bayern Munich Airball 0-0 for the first time since April 2017. Atletico Madrid, Pablo Barrios red card in the 7th minute. affect Atletico after 7 Madrid, so a drop a point. So I mean a lot of Neman of course, especially Chelsea to drop a point. Nay United are quarter 15 for the last time. I mean they lost that number of games. In the early in the 1970s, they went to relegation, and Chelsea lost to Brighton. I'm a man for Rebecca said they are going to do a protest against the blue code for the third ball in call for listen. I mean starting the Spanish La Liga, and a lot of games of course. So I mean the now war Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid after so more bono, and people were expecting that at least these teams are more 3 teams or more pet the La Liga no ageno obi abetimi awini, and it was obvious that at least Atletico Madrid up against Celta Vigo was going to be something. I mean, it was a golden chance for Atletico Madrid. So I get it on the throne, but I mean, no more miss opportunity. After say Madrid, echo ball 1-1 draw to Osasuna after some Madrid, so AD red card, and you see, the game was a gamer. People were not expecting Atletico Madrid to drop a point. But Pablo Barros red card no D in the early stages of the game no they are affecting Atletico. So you look at the match stats, then we say in terms of possession, in terms of goal attempt, in terms of the shot on targets, any big chances created were in favor of Celta Vigo. They needed to take the opportunity to win the game. So I mean it was something that in as much as Omudi red card in the first half, I mean they were able to hold on onto the game, and at least Omopeke, I mean a point from the game. And it's listo after set a game in the course, people should forget that shouldn't forget that Celta Vigo in the D can share first goal, and I mean the die and best of the game around 81st minute, and Alexander Solots a ball goal no? And so Edema Atletico Mutimi pick a point from that game. And Ama league title no ababe so crucial that if Barcelona are able to win against a team and the Real Vallecano Nyamiya, it means that they are going to top the league with the same point with Real Madrid, because Madrid 51, Atletico Madrid 50, and Barcelona so 48 points. So if Barcelona win, they will go I mean at par with Real Madrid, but I mean, no matter goes, seeing all these clubs, and definitely they are going to top the table. Check it, Madrid game now list 2. They also got a red card in the name of a brand, and they Jude Bellingham after say na Madrid team no LED by 1 goal in the first half. That is the 15-minute goal Kylian Mbappe share, making it the 17 goals in the La Liga this season. List 2. Jude Bellingham red card no in same be and reports are free the RFEF which is the Royal Football Federation, which said Jude Bellingham a 12 match ban. The least grab it me maybe a 7 or something like that. And you see after the game no, there are on say about game almost at least 25 cameras in a HI game no, and there are other cameras it's me pick I mean the sound and I say players know how mokasa no omutimi translate in seminar from either Spanish either English. And share video near about out Jude Bellingham near red card na in some ways or can Spanish in the first sentence, and last one or you see the F word say I mean ref no and here for up, that is a seminar a brand no you see here. And you see the red card now when you list to check it the Spanish Football Federation omo emra na I mean the article 94 of the RFEF disciplinary code na HS player found to have directly insulted the referee could be slapped with a ban ranging from 4 to 12 matches. But Jude Bellingham there no issue nene asem no kind no might be able to say if a lack of respect and a contempt and any ABR obetimi amesi either 2 to 3 suspended match according to article 117 in the Royal Spanish Football Federation or more disciplinary code I mean of state ethics. There is the situation at Eba, and this is Jude Bellingham this season. He has scored 10 goals, provided 10 assists from 33 appearances in all competition at Real Madrid this season. And you see, Listo, after the game, coach Carlo Ancelotti said, and yes, all backing the players, but he thinks and he understands that referee Eddie Jose Luis Montero, as Semna Jude Bellingham kind, referee English and he didn't understand the referee word, saying F off, any ABA because ABA FU different from because Aqua say Missy Free so and Amasa Jadi Oyen. Na say bia me do attempt directly. So the referee understanding of the English, they interpret the situation at hand at that very moment. So because I said be fuck off, and because I fuck you I mean it has different meaning. This was what I say.
Yeah.
So if the Spanish Federation they understand the context very well, it might be that the player might not be able to miss that 12 games. But the Koba say indeed it was a disrespect to the referee. And referee report not call, he insisted say player eka say be fuck you, one can say fuck off. Because of referees, no mean are more understanding of English and slangs now player need you see. And so if the player is under investigation, and if a Koba say Obenya sa 12 ban, it means that on board 10 La Liga games, on board 2 Copa del Rey matches, that is domestic games. But in terms of the Champions League games now, on the ball outside the Spanish Football Federation territory there, he might be able to play those games. And you see, it is something that affects Real Madrid team, over the weekend. So Carlo Ancelotti said that he's not backing the players, but then this is something that happened, and they believe that it's quite unfortunate. Say a bit me about. So Jude Bellingham case is still under investigation. If he is found guilty, say will the player coach not them with the video, evidence and whatever report our coach referee Jose Montero or the call, he might be able at least action as one 10 to 12 matches, and if a moves interpretation of the English to Spanish in Libya, he might get 2 to 3 matches, and also they at least a bit me affecting Real Madrid team. So it was quite unfortunate that Atletico Madrid in your red card, Real Madrid in your red card, and none of these teams, so especially Atletico Madrid, and take key opportunity. But they did very well. So at least in the diamonds of the game, Alexander Solot, equalizer, team pick a pointer. They are still in the title. But it was a golden opportunity after Madrid drop a point to Osasuna, knowing very well that Estadio Wanda Metropolitano. And if Barca are able to win against Rayo Vallecano, especially at Camp Nou, which looks so easy, which makes it a golden opportunity for Barca, definitely they might load a lot of goals and also be on top of the table with the same points with Maldin at the Real Madrid. Let's to another game, also. A month for be Adrian Costo, especially in the Serie A. Rebecca, prior to this game, I mentioned said it was going to be very hard for Napoli to win against the Lazio, knowing for a fact that this season they've not been able to pick up a point against Lazio. In fact, 2 games are not on my board prior to this. Game in Napoli lose to Lazio. They lost 3-1, and the last one on Kobo Diego Armando Maradona Stadium, Omolusu 1-0. Coming up against Lazio again, it was going to be very difficult. But knowing for a fact that at the stage where Napoli were leading the Serie A, Inter, any Juventus, when say definitely they might drop points. All the teams are top 4 teams they are likely to drop points. And in fact, Czechostan is now team they did Napoli. Lazio is not part of the top 4. So Atlanta able draw. Inter Elusu, so it was an opportunity for Napoli to extend the lead in the league log, and this is the third time. For the third time this season, they couldn't afford to play against win against Lazio. In fact, over the weekend, Friday, me predicted a game a better scoring draw. Looking at how Napoli for set it up and Lazio Napoli for set up. If they are so eager to win the league, this was a game. At least they could have got some all the 3 maximum points from. It's one of those things. But Medi can catch us comparing Lazio last 3 games. Napoli last 3 games and then the last games in the Serie A to all the other teams because he's going to play against Napoli, he's going to play against Fiorentina, AC Milan, and I think these 3 games and games are games are wait make I say looking at how Napoli is playing, you know, and the tough game are so far, but aside that all the other games in now easy games for them. And you compare Inter Milan, Atlanta and Juventus are games are very crucial at the moment. At least Juventus win against Inter Milan was very crucial, and you see Abranta and then Colomwani man of the match, and in fact ni brilliant skills, I mean outside the box, inside the box, no, and the man Abranta and the Constantine enya that winning goal ultimately share Yansoma Omopeke that maximum 3 points. And you see, in fact, listo who check teams are the top 4 this year. None of the teams last 3 games winning. In fact, Napoli last 3 games were bought 3 consecutive draws. He drew against Roma, he drew against Udinese, and then only Lazio, so Akwakobo draw. Inter so last 3 games in the Serie A. In fact, the last 4 games were winning just 1. Obo 1-1 against AC Milan. He lost to Fiorentina and also to Juventus right now. And then only Fiorentina was associated Fiorentina 2-1. Aside that, you look at Atlanta. So last 3 games in the Serie A, this weekend, only Cagliari was 0-0. He won 5-0 against over Verona. And Olusu Obo 1-1 draw to Torino. And this tells you that all the teams are about top 4 for the past 3 weeks. Is only Juventus and it's me apeke 3 consecutive wins. So it means that the top 4 teams will be as a CA what front to my peripheral Juventus. Since Colomwani joined them, no other player has been involved in more goals than Colomwani. 6 in his last 4 games in the Serie A. Juventus, and is Wababe a good addition for Juventus. Samson a Chelsea player, Renato Vega okoye about 90 minutes in all the games Babama Juventus and he helped them to keep a clean sheet against Inter Milan or Thuram and Lautaro Martinez. They are regarded as one of the best attackers in the league so far. So Akwakoye said Juventus winning against Inter Milan per their records, any Inter records or they be sure Juventus have the best team. And you see, 7 consecutive seasons, 6 consecutive seasons. Juventus about Serie A now. Omo entimi and just credit to listo. Gone were the days Max Allegri, Antonio Conte, any all these coaches, Ebeji, Serie A, Nebe Tuato Asuma, Ebeye say, the Serie A from Farmers League. But I mean, since the last time on Moji, 6 consecutive times, Juventus haven't won the league. And looking at the points gap with a kind of former Omafan, it might not be too late for them because check here after 38 games on my ball out of the 25 games on my ball, Juventus 46 points. And a team in Napoli actually 10 points. It might be very hard for them to make catch up because we don't see Fiorentina and as Napoli losing some of the games so far. But it's going to be very difficult. Say, league, but then incredible form no more might be able to end them the Champions League spots, and if they are able to retain some of the players, the improvements about my team, man, listo, they are a bit me about. So I mean, Napoli dropping points against Lazio and Ekoba Asado. We were hoping that at least Inter Milan could have even gotten the edge. Atlanta so wait when you that edge and teams no be anywhere. Almost with me win it. So the Serie A story this weekend akwakoye to say La Liga there teams now you feel say almost fighting for the league title. All of them a drop a pointer and also Entimi Ambo more. So I mean it was an exciting week unless like the Spanish league, French league. I mean PSG enya a lone goal. I mean it was a tough away game on. In fact, to be make I say now fatigue actually players because the coach knowing for a fact that a Champions League over this midweek or rest a lot of players will be to say Dembele and start a lot of players and start I mean die members of the game Ousmane Dembele, Marquinhos, João Neves and even who are a key status of the team no Omuna and started but I mean they were able to at least secure the 3 points still Omo Action League the more 10 points and Marcel so I mean a 5-1 victory Zebi Greenwood any the players such as they are doing a very good job but I mean it's too late for them say make me catch up with PSG almost or form and so it was so listo back to the Bundesliga. Leipzig and Bayern Munich ebo 0-0 draw. It makes it the
Bayern Munich ni Bayer Leverkusen.
sorry, Bayern Leverkusen and Bayern Munich be arena makes it 0 goalless draw number and makes it the first goalless draw between Bayern Munich and Leverkusen since April 2017. Game was a tight game for both teams, but in fact previous head to head and previous encounters nature say Bayern Munich intimi and conquer share Leverkusen in almost last 5 games of my ball. The last time Bayern Munich share Leverkusen was somewhere in 2022. So coming to this game now Leverkusen and sa at the Bayern Munich. So in fact omubo Bay Arena no na odds in a favor. But I see prior to the game we check the stats and everything a favor team and din Bayern Munich. They possessed the game better. They created a lot of chances. In fact, goal attempts Bayern Munich were able to create just 2 out of 15. Bayern Leverkusen created shot on goal was 3, and Bayern Munich didn't play a shot on targets. In fact, goalkeeper and Lucas Hadreki, he was on holiday against Bayern Munich that day, and big chances are Bayern Leverkusen for creating. They created 4 big chances and team and Bayern Munich and create any big chance. So it was a game that fully dominated by Bayern Leverkusen, but they couldn't utilize or more chances or more creating. So at least if they could have gotten that winner, commit me in your 50 points ever match just the point gap between Bayern Munich only the Bundesliga any omono about just 5 points. But Bayern Munich is to do they stood to the ground, and if the game in the Bayern and I say Dayot Upamecano Aji, the man of the match, it tells you how Omutimi defend out of the 15 goal attempt team and Leverkusen, they still find ways and means to keep it clean sheet or consider go pick a points. And it's a plus for Bayern Munich, at least team or a tough start, team or a tough league chase.